Hello Year 10. Today what we're going to do is review right-angled triangle trigonometry. First, what we're going to look at is right-angled triangle trig ratios. So when we have our right-angled triangle and our angle theta, the side that is opposite the right angle is our hypotenuse, the side opposite our angle is the opposite side, and the side next to our angle is our adjacent side. We have three trig ratios, and the first one is sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse, or O over H. Next one is cos theta equals the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which equals A over H. And the third one is tan theta equals the opposite over adjacent, which is O over A. Now what we're going to look at is finding the unknown side using trig ratios. So if I was to find the value of x to two decimal places in this triangle, the first step what we should be doing is label the triangle HOA, where our H stands for our hypotenuse, O stands for our opposite side, and A stands for our adjacent side. Our hypotenuse in this case is 10, we don't have an opposite side, and our adjacent side is x centimeters. The next step is to work out which trig ratio to use. Looking back on our trig ratios, what we will use is cos because we have A and H. We can also remember SOHCAHTOA, which helps us remember our trig ratios. So then we should write out the trig ratio, cos theta equals A over H, and then substitute in the values. So we have cos of our angle 40 degrees equals our adjacent side x over our hypotenuse 10. We then want to rearrange to make x the subject. So in order to make x the subject here, we need to multiply both sides by 10 to get x equals 10 times cos 40 degrees. We then put this into the calculator to get x equals 7.660444431, and we want to round to the allocated decimal place. In the question it says to two decimal places, so we get x equals 7.66 centimeters. Next, we're going to review finding the unknown angle. So if I was to find the value of theta to the nearest degree in this triangle, my first step is to label the triangle HOA. So my hypotenuse is 10 centimeters, and we have our opposite side 8 centimeters, but we don't have our adjacent side. We then need to work out which trig ratio to use, either sine, cos, or tan, and write out the trig ratio. So the trig ratio for this one is sine, as we have the opposite and the hypotenuse side. So sine theta equals O over H. We then want to substitute in our values, so we don't know what our angle is, so we have sine theta equals our opposite side 8 over our hypotenuse 10. We're then going to rearrange theta to make theta the subject, so we're going to take sine over to the other side to get theta equals sine to the power of -1 8 on 10. We then want to put this into our calculator. To do this, we press Shift, Sign, and then enter our ratio of 8 over 10. And when we do so, we will get a decimal. To move from a decimal to our degrees, like what I have on the screen, we need to press the degrees, minutes, second button, which is the second button in the third row of our Casio calculator. It looks like an open circle and then some commas. We then want to round to the nearest degree. So we get 53 degrees, 7 minutes, 48.37 seconds. So to round to the nearest degree, we round up if our minutes are greater than or equal to 30, and we just leave the degree as so if it's less than 30, which in this case it is. So our answer is 53 degrees.